13 and 15-year-old killing 10 people. I wondering why after the second one they didn't put surveillance. Why they didn't start to watch the man? So the same man killed 2. They come here find out now he purportedly killed 3. So you wait until he killed 10 and now using the excuse we can't question him because the gang legislation wasn't passed. You have a lawyer?
I'm waiting for you to light it up live on the radio. I wanna answer that. This is madness.
They say it look like Gary might get work.
I don't know if Guardian newspaper is using that to sell newspapers. I don't know if that's distraction. I don't know.
Because I can't imagine Seals getting the job.
That would be a silly decision. A silly decision.
Yeah. Move a man who has been there that did nothing to put a man who have a
no, but you see,
cloud hanging over his head.
Again, there are a lot of reasons to fire or not give it to Williams, but the reasoning that they're giving that he didn't do much, you can't put a man on 6 acting stints with the political directorate having authority over your job. He's an acting police commissioner. The Prime Minister could have fired him. When you really appoint a police commissioner, he could lock up the Prime Minister. But while he's an acting police commissioner, the Prime Minister can fire him in mid-arrest. It's a silliness.
You ever hear about a fella called Ray Arcel?
No, what is that about?
Ray Arcel is supposedly one of the greatest boxing trainers the world has ever seen.
Sure.
He was responsible. Turn down the volume there a little bit, Kevin.
On the inside.
He was responsible for hundreds of trainings of boxers that went on to international success. And he was also responsible for Roberto Duran's training when he first fought Sugar Ray Leonard and beat him.
I remember that. That was a earthquake of a bout.
It was a nice piece of history. It was a good fight.
It was a good fight.
It went all the way to the end.
Because he waited. But they say he beat him because Sugar Ray Leonard fight him toe-to-toe. And Leonard was a dancer like Muhammad Ali.
No, he only became a dancer after.
You sure? Because
No, he was not a dancer.
Prior to that. Because toe-to-toe, that Spanish could have taken a hit.
Yeah, boy.
He could have taken a hit.
Yeah. And then he get licks because of the same thing. He get frustrated.
He get frustrated trying to follow in the rematch, trying to follow him around the ring. He get frustrated. Yeah,
that's exactly the point I'm making. That's exactly what happened in Trinidad. If we go toe-to-toe with the political directorate, we could beat them. But they're beating around the
dancing, yeah.
They're dancing around here.
But the media will broadcast the Prime
What we have again there, Kevin?
Pavement Line, Comedy, and Sammy.
Alright, play the Sammy.
The media will
will
broadcast the Prime Minister saying that the government cannot secure this little tiny dot of a nation and not drill him. In the United States of America, you can't make a statement like that and they not question you with fact and law and reality and statistics.
The big problem is not that. The big problem is that they're trying to skirt around. Imagine you're talking about, you're seeing a young man coming from a depressed area with more gold around his neck than Maraj. And under the mandate of the laws, you have the right to question source of money. Where you get the money to buy this? Show me.
No, they wanted that in the anti-gang legislation.
No, right now.
Maybe through the border inland revenue, but police don't have that authority.
No. They have it right now under the present law.
No, you don't have to walk around with your receipt for your car.
No. You don't have to walk around. Nobody's talking about walking around. I'm talking about the issue.
Excuse me 1 second. Hello, good day. Speaking. Yes. Approve it. Joshua Alexander, 25,000. Yes. Thank you. Bye.
Alrighty, and with that we get ourselves inside a sense and sensibility. It is now 6 minutes after the hour of 11 o'clock. Time check comes to you courtesy of Value Optical. We have ourselves, of course, Robertson. Philip Alexander. Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning, Trinidad. And of course, I have to say good morning to Tobago, boy. Tobago must be smiling. All knickers are clean. All underwear is red. All bras are now double color, red, white, and a tinge of black around the straps.
What did I come into? Good morning to your listeners. Good morning to the loyal 104.7 listeners. Good morning to those following us on social media. Pleasant good morning, Trinidad and Tobago. We were having a conversation off air before Robert went down the underwear road. We were having a conversation off air about the madness that is being broadcast in the Prime Minister's position on national security.
Well, I mean, I have to springboard using one of the programs earlier today, which is Harvey Boris's program. And when he made the statement about the communique relative to the police and himself and the issues of 13, 14, 15-year-old, 10 murders under their hands, and because the law...
Who is saying this, the Prime Minister, right?
No. Harvey Boris is making the statement in his capacity as a talk show host.
Right.
And saying that he had communicated with some police officers who were saying that their hands are tied behind their backs, as if though they're hog-tied.
Why is this?
Because the present law doesn't permit them to interrogate, question a minor.
Okay, now I want to ask you a question. Right, we're going to deal with this step by step. Who sets the legislative agenda?
The government of the day.
So a law could be written in a day.
And but the point
we've
was,
seen a law written in a day.
But
we are part of a Commonwealth, and there are other functional jurisdictions within the Commonwealth that have laws, and you could copy and paste Commonwealth law and just change the name of the location.
No, but I don't think that is the issue. The issue is he's trying to lead the country in the direction that they were making the arrangement with the anti-gang bill that then gave them the authority to question those 15-year-olds. And he supported the opposition leader's position on the basis of calling back for, but I don't know if he read the last letter that was sent off to the Attorney General, where the opposition leader was saying, look, let me not make stupidness of this now. We serious about getting this thing fixed. Don't beat around the bush.
Yeah, but Robert, if you read the anti-gang bill, you'll realize it's lazy policing. It's lazy policing, and it is draconian. And that's the problem. It's not about sunset clauses. If you write a law, you write a law. I don't need the law to expire. Write a proper law. Write a proper law. Because if you write a nonsense law, we can come back and repeal it. So all this argument about when is the sunset and all that foolishness was to give the media something to hang on to. They repealed Section 34.
34.
Section 34 unanimously in one mid-morning sitting of the Parliament. So we have that as an example.
As a benchmark.
That if they motivated,
they
could do the work.
Yes, we can.
Yes, we can.
Yes, we can.
The Parliament could work. The Parliament could do the job. That anti-gang bill that is being heralded as this cure-all for everything is foolishness. You have a Children's Authority Act.
No, but they are saying that under the Children's Authority Act, the police doesn't factor in there.
How you could say that? The Children's Authority Act gives the police onerous powers.
I don't think so.
Listen, an underage child involved in criminal activity can be removed from his or her home environment and become a ward of the state. And what the state does with that, the state could create boot camps. If I can't teach this child in a home environment and I can't raise this child in a school environment, I'll put this child in a work environment, and I will expose this child to the harsh realities.
So the behavioral changes that are necessary to make you a good citizen. I don't know the law. I'm not appraised of it. You are by far more.
But bring Louis Leasing. I know that you're a real partner. Yeah. Bring him in here and let him talk to, because Louis Leasing has been a strong proponent of national service for a long time.
Yeah, but I'm hearing about national service and I'm not fighting national service.
No, I'm just saying to you, you could use national service as a boot camp. You could use national service as a boot camp. Because immediately, Robert, these young children now, the reason they are doing the things that they are doing is because the adults who are supposed to have responsibility to ensure discipline and consequence are not doing their jobs.
So we let's agree that that is the genesis of the problem. Let us advocate that we know that the institutional structure has shown capacity for doing rectificational work to solving our problem.
It's self-correcting.
That's correct. So that we can move the problem. There is no way they can pass the buck or put the monkey on another person.
But that's what they do.
Okay. No, I mean I'm saying there is no need because the population outside there.
Your favorite country is Singapore. You saw the video circling on social media.
I saw it.
The man leave his laptop, his phone, and his wallet. He say he gone. He said it is almost impossible to get away with a crime in Singapore.
But you know, that said, the Singaporean system has become now, what you call it when you put a bug into the system? Mm-hmm. They have bugged the system now. Top politicians in Singapore is now receiving bribes. That wasn't heard of 15 years ago.
And I'm sure they're going to plug that loophole.
Okay. Now,
but
maybe they'll plug it.
Use Japan.
No, Japan is worse.
Use Denmark.
Denmark may be okay.
Okay, I'm saying to you that we cannot ever say that 100% of anywhere is right.
No.
But Trinidad, 100% of it is wrong.
Yeah, all right. The issue
we are the exception that proves the rule.
The issue still is who takes the responsibility and who is going to make the Herculean move to get out from this blame game. Because we are at a stage where the criminal deviant aspect of the society is deteriorating worse and worse every day. The national security composition, what is happening in the country today, is not acceptable.
Robert, if you were a criminal, and the government and the commissioner of police are telegraphing that they are powerless and hamstrung, wouldn't you get bold?
But who is wouldn't you? Because
if you are a criminal-minded person, all right. So let's say this: we have a collapsed social management system that does not account for the people. Sarah Nabi raised a point in Point 14, our Point 14 rally months ago, and when I tell you, this thing stuck in my head. Because it's stuck in my head because she said in the rally that a child was born in the Trinidad and Tobago, so a birth certificate exists.
Yeah.
And somewhere along the way, the system dropped that child. The schools didn't account for this child because you have a national education system. So that birth certificate is supposed to instruct the national education system that unless a death certificate interrupts this, expect this child at 3. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There should now be a gap 3 years down the road for this child. This child she was speaking about was sold into slavery. In Trinidad, she was sold into slavery. This became a grown-up and came back and told her story beyond the age of 16. And the point that Sarah Nabi raised, and I have to agree with her, is that at the moment our education and social system stopped accounting for this child, they put her in danger. Not to say they sold her into slavery, but they should have rang alarm bells. There should have been a question asked of the parents by the education system because it's accounting for a child.
Okay. So
I'm just asking this question. Yeah. It's accounting for a human.
No problem.
You're accounting for a human.
I accept that.
Follow the chain.
I accept
so
that.
According to the information on file, this is where this person lives. This is its parents. This is who we have to talk to. And social services, where is your child, ma'am? Where's the child? Because the child's supposed to be in school. Account for the child. Because apparently, the family sold the child.
There are no checks and balances. I want to agree with that. But I want to take this more, not to the philosophy. Because that's a managerial, and that is an administrative, and that's a leadership role.
But imagine you have a system in this country where between birth and death,
you could go missing and nobody knows. I understand that. I don't have a problem with that. I hear in you. We have a bigger problem. We have a problem where we are now being told at sub 17, upper 11 or 12, between 12 and 17, the murderers are existing there. And the murderers are existing there because the head gang leaders or the persons who are purported to be the bosses have found a loophole. And that if you're between 12 and 16, 12 and 17, and you commit a crime, the tendency is leniency and get away. Because the system does not allow for the interrogation in any kind of way to get down to the aspect of how this occurred, were you responsible? Because some smart-ass lawyers that's inside and quote some part of the Children's Act and quote some part of the
yeah, but forget that. Before you even reach there, before you even reach there, before you even reach in the court, if the people who set out to kill Dana Sita Hall knew that not only was the crime recorded by cameras, but that everywhere that they went in the vehicle after, they jump out the vehicle and go running after, the cameras would follow them. Yeah. You would have an idea of where to look.
Yeah.
We've spent hundreds of millions of dollars
on camera
systems that don't work.
Yeah.
The National Operations Center under Garvin Hero, that's our next person you need to interview. Commander Garvin Hero, that man knows his business. I want to tell you something. If you tell Garvin Hero, this is your job, secure this country, Garvin Hero will give you a plan to account for every human being and their movements. There are algorithms. There are computer programs. China is a dot. They're doing this in countries with tens of millions of people. We have one. We got in our urban environment. Port of Spain, Woodbrook, Newtown, Maraval, everywhere that's built up. Just add on. Just keep adding on. You have a surveillance system. We have a criminal country. We have a country where to protect the people, you have to be able to follow the crime. Robert, that lawyer that was shot dead in Grand Bazaar, Kappa, you ever try to drive out of Grand Bazaar, Kappa?
Yeah.
How the bandits get out of Grand Bazaar?
Not that easy.
You cannot get out of Grand Bazaar, and even when you get out of Grand Bazaar, the madness that is the road system. You understand what I'm saying?
Puts a restrictor on you.
How is it possible?
Well, it's possible because you have answered the original question. The original question being the inefficiency and the laziness of the police service. I want to tell you this.
I want to start at the top. The government is responsible for crime in this country. PNM and the UNC are actively engaged in facilitating criminal enterprise in this country.
I don't know if I could make that
statement. But let me put my evidence before you, Your Honor.
I think before we do that evidence, we should take ourselves a nice quick break.
Your timing, boy.
Impeccable.
People, it is now 11:19. Give it the time check courtesy of Super Quality. Take that break. We'll be back after these.
What's the point you're going to make with that? I mean, from the point of view.
Securing the borders and stuffing the containers, at least scanning the containers. Singapore moves more shipping containers in 1 hour than we move in a year.
Yeah, I hear you.
Securing the borders, cleaning up the police service. If you do these three things.
Well, it is important to make the point, Philip, that you say that they are responsible for the crime.
They know
because they have not taken the kind of action.
But that's a lie. A lie by omission is a lie. Yeah. Failure to do a job that you are responsible to do is culpability.
Yes.
There is something called conspiracy after the fact.
Yeah, but the reality, Philip, is that it is the responsibility of the citizenry.
I will never say no.
To call
and to continue to vote for the PNM and the UNC is to continue to vote yourself into slavery and misery. Yeah, well, and I understand that. I told somebody today, the same traffic that you're cussing, that you're sitting in under the PNM, you're sitting in that same traffic under the UNC. Nothing's changed.
No, nothing has changed.
Kevin, the same broken nation.
It get worse.
I saw it on Facebook.
The same broken nation. The same CEO of the Northwest Regional Health Authority that has not yet answered for that black man who died on the grounds in the General Hospital.
Because nobody knows the name. Nobody doesn't even know that CEO's name. He's safe.
How is that so hard to find?
It's not hard to find. It's just that there is a insensitivity on the people who are supposed to ask the question. Because they have accepted that they have no option.
In China, the CEO of a baby food company, a woman, was executed because they poisoned babies to death with the deliberate ingredients in baby food. And they executed her.
In a communist country, you could do those things.
I don't think it's just about being a communist country.
No.
I think
That
it's about
also plays a role.
Robert,
Because a man committed murder in the United States ago, and another one recently committed all kinds of crimes, and he went to court. They just sentenced him to 175 years.
So we get back inside of Sense and Sensibility, and of course, you know, there are a whole lot of things going on, just like it's 11:22, which comes to courtesy of Value Optical. Don't forget this Friday, Ladies' Night Out. You get your tickets, Caches, Cleaves, Crosby's, all extra foods outlets, JTA, Carlton Center, Michelle's Rima. You have a number to call if you want some information, 628-9158. And Carnival starts on Carnival Friday. 2 become 1. Kabuki and M104.7 presents Shades, Shorts, and Coolers, The Cruise. You're going to hear more about that a little bit later on. Gentlemen.
Robert, the point I was trying to make before Kevin, so
timely,
gymnastically, took us to the break, was that the government, you see, when Keith Rowley speaks, he is speaking to a media complicit and compromised. By when he says the government cannot secure the nation, that is an admission of failure. Call an election. Dissolve the parliament. The government is a function of the parliament. You have 41 parliamentary representatives, out of which you get a government. If the government cannot do the job that is the role of government, fire the government, dissolve the parliament.
The role of government, Philip, is
read
not
the Constitution.
Yeah,
read the Constitution.
It's not single.
It is single.
It is not single. It's not only crime.
It is not crime. The single purpose and function of government is the well-being of the citizenry. And that includes security of the person.
Right.
And the Constitution is very clear. The Constitution does not waste words. Life, liberty, pursuit of happiness, security of the person.
Yes.
It doesn't waste. No, but you say that with that face because you are living in a country that nobody takes this seriously. And we have to start to. When the Prime Minister says that his government cannot secure the people, his government has failed. It's an admission of failure. It is time for the people to say you are fired.
Yes, but
dissolve the parliament, call an election.
They will not do that.
He can get away with this foolishness now because this is carnival time and we drunk and bent over.
Whether is carnival or not carnival, the situation is not as dry or cut and dry as you are making it. Yeah, but if
you were the Minister of National Security tomorrow and you cleaned up the police service and you secure the nation's borders and you unstuffed or scanned the containers on the port,
all right,
you would be able.
Let's take those. But
Robert, that is the obvious way to go.
Hold on.
This is a narco state. If the Prime Minister does not secure the nation, if the Prime Minister by his admission says that there are 30,000 illegal guns in this country, he said that last year. A whole 12 months have passed and you have not yet taken steps to secure the borders. And it's not money. Because you don't have to buy the what do you call the ships? That he and that OPVs and all this foolishness. You don't have to buy it. There are people in the world that will lend you, rent you, and come and do it for you. The United States of America has a vested interest in cocaine not passing through Trinidad.
Philip, all of the things you're saying does not, in the one brush stroke that you're trying to make it, show up on the doorstep and get rectification. The problems that you are speaking of are and is accepted as part of the institutional decay. The issue that you have to come to realize, whether today or tomorrow or whenever, is that we are living in a society where the people really care nothing
I agree. I disagree.
about tomorrow.
I disagree. No, wait.
They don't care about tomorrow.
And that I have to agree with.
If they cared about tomorrow, they'd do something today.
We worse than that. We let the devil take tomorrow. And what's ironic is that we live in the moment. We live in the moment, but we don't care about tomorrow.
You know, you made the point a little earlier on that it's carnival, we bend over and all that kind of thing. Well, okay. But that is just the unfortunate.
We sacrifice tomorrow to have fun today. And I accept that. Okay.
So, where do we start?
How did we get here?
Yeah, forget, I don't care how we get here. How do we get out of here?
The people of Trinidad and Tobago.
Telling me where I come from.
Colonized. No.
All of that is not important.
It is important here because for frame of reference, we were colonized.
It's not making no sense.
The people had no power. The people had no say. The king and the queen.
We no longer colonized. We still have no power. We still have no say.
We not colonized.
We are still not colonized.
All that happened when they lowered the Union Jack and raised the red, white, and black is they changed the race of the colonists. Eric Williams did not want us to free the people of this country. The laws that were written under Eric Williams, Carl Hudson Phillips Public Order Act.
55 years later,
but you're living under that.
3 different governments starting with a change with the man called Robinson, followed by another man who is a doctrine of wanting to see a different type of electorate for putting people into power by proportional representation, followed by a woman, the first woman.
We
have done nothing.
We have nothing. Nothing's changed.
So what do you expect? Who is going to influence the change? That's where we have to start.
The public has to understand, and they have a responsibility. You're correct. They have a responsibility.
But that is where we have to start to educate, at the point of responsibility, not at the point of blame. Well, Prime Minister gets up and he says, well, we can't support the order, so fire him. Nobody's going to fire him.
But you have to fire him.
Nobody's going to fire him.
So if you... But I want
Get serious.
I want to find an analogy for you that you will be able to use.
Forget about analogy. Analogy isn't going to solve our problems.
A person has a responsibility there.
Hey, everybody have a responsibility. You have a responsibility too.
And you know what? At the end of the day, I'm here.
Correct.
I'm here.
So your responsibility...
Every Thursday at 11 o'clock,
your responsibility goes past the situation of casting blame. Your responsibility must... What is the solution?
I think you're mistaking what I am saying for blame.
It is, because your point is, if you fire the Prime Minister,
no, but ultimately,
if you fire the Prime Minister, we will get a solution.
You said here last week in this seat, you said that it is the Prime Minister's job.
I am not disputing that, but he still have the job.
Who's responsible to call him to order and make him do his job?
The population.
And that's my point.
The 22 people that he has in the parliament that is following him.
You have had thousands of employees, and you know that the thing that makes people respectful, most respectful of authority, is loss of job.
Who is going to fire the man?
The people who have the responsibility to do it.
And that is the 1,200,000 citizens. But they are not going to do it.
I don't agree with you.
Well, you don't agree from now until the cows come home.
If you believe that, we wouldn't be doing this.
We are doing this because we have to make sure the people understand it is their responsibility to fire him.
It
is not you and I. I wish you and I had the casting vote, because he'd have been gone since yesterday.
You said, talk about solutions. Let's talk solutions.
Let's talk about the solutions.
Let's talk about solutions.
From these young
let's
people
talk about
now.
solutions. No, but let's talk about solutions and ask
the security.
Let's ask Pandey, who is still alive, Manning's aides, whoever were around him, all of his AGs and his ministers of national security. Let's ask Kamala, and let's ask Keith Rowley. Four administration. I just want to ask them this. Why haven't you secured this nation's borders? Knowing
but you see,
under Kamala Prasad Bissessa, $1.2 billion worth of cocaine were held. Wait, yes, Norfolk, Virginia, again, you raised that last week. Between Norfolk, Virginia and Canada, $1.2 billion in cocaine was held. We've had $600 million on Monas. We've had $1 billion in a yacht from Chagaramas off the coast of Spain. We have a man dead from a PID in England or somewhere that shipped from Trinidad, laced with pure cocaine. So we are aware, we are clear that Trinidad is a narco state. It is used to transship massive amounts of cocaine. This cocaine comes with corrupting foreign dirty dollars. Comes with it. We're talking billions of dollars. For years, I've heard people talk about the alternate economy. These people have US dollars in such volume that they cannot just put it in the system. So they could pelt it out. You could pelt judge, police, public office holder. You're not writing checks. You're handing these people, boy, look, $1 million US, boy. Look the other freaking way. That is what is corrupting the country. What corrupts the country is the amount of dirty money that is in the country. And I just want to say this to you, that if you secure the nation's borders and you examine, if not unstuff the containers, them talking about scan, and people, testicles, they don't want to get testicle cancer, so they're not using the scanners. Give the US back the scanners. Open and examine every container. What is so hard? What is so hard? Singapore moves in 1 hour more shipping containers than we move in a year. But I said to you off air, to continue to vote for the PNM and the UNC is to continue to vote this nation into slavery and its people into misery. Trinidad has never, ever had a real government. We have never had a real government.
That you and I could agree upon. But what you and I cannot agree upon is the It's the line of action, the course of action, the influences that are required, the information.
You said it. We're educating, informing, empowering the people.
Yeah, but the results are piss poor. The results are unacceptable. The change or the dynamics is not as aggressive as is required if we want to say that we are going to look after the children of the nation.
At some point, you and I and people like us will be able to say, you know what? I gave it my all.
Yeah, but that doesn't solve the problem.
If you lead a horse
to water,
your all. If you lead a horse to water and they don't drink, that's the horse choice.
Yes, but that's the problem in Trinidad and Tobago.
That's the horse choice.
1 million
At the end
people.
Of the day, every question they ask me, when we said, if you attack it from housing and made it so that everybody who wanted to own a house, once they had a job, even minimum wage earners could own a home, you will solve the problem. They say, that's madness. Where are you getting that money from? And I show them that the money you will save in national security, you spend $9 billion in.
Yeah.
The money that you will save in national security, the money that you will save in jails, the money that you will save in social development programs trying to manage URP and CPEP for these people now. Once you tell people that if you have a minimum wage job, you give them hope and opportunity. You could be frying fries in KFC.
And owning a home.
And own a home.
And I think that's a brilliant arrangement.
They say, but you can't get houses for that price. We show them houses for that price. We show them. The banks wouldn't go for that. We show them that 500 banks want to come here. So if RBC and Republic and Scotia don't want to do it, fire truck them. Bring in banks that will. Bring in banks that will. People making... We have 4 banks making $5 billion a year in this country.
But the question
so they have other banks outside that want a piece of that $5 billion. Yes or no?
The question, yeah, it is possible. The question is that we don't even need the banks because remember, under the institutional, already capitalized and funded TTMF, where interest rates is already down to 2%.
Robert.
You were talking about zero, but the point is that nothing is free.
Robert.
Nothing is free.
$25 billion that we lost to the Clico bandits.
Listen.
The $25 billion that we lost to the Clico bandits could have funded 200,000 houses. You didn't even have to let the people pay for it. Get them away.
The 2 gallon of water you used to flush the 2 toilets this morning.
Robert, we lost $20 billion in interest. No, but you have to say it.
You could say that from now until Jesus comes down.
But I'm saying to you, Robert, somebody need to be held accountable for this.
Yes, well, okay. So, the last time...
And that's why I'm telling all them politicians who want to say, hey, Phil, we still friends. I'm telling them, I have no political friends.
The question
because
is
if we end up in government and you have to bring people to justice that you sit down and eat and drink with, they had to know when you was doing your crime. I wasn't in your crime with you.
The question comes
when you all sit down in one Woodbrook place and sell bailout properties right across the road from you, Robert, hundreds of millions of dollars have been stolen. Right across the road, people have purchased and flipped apartments in that building for under market price, half and quarter. Audit that.
All of those things that you are speaking to.
Robert, you need to jail white collar criminals. When people when people in this country see...
Philip, you know what I can't understand with you? We have a $3 billion US fiasco at Petrotrin. And when the question was put to the Prime Minister, his answer to the nation, and they did not respond, consider it to have a deal gone bad. That is the damn answer. What stupidness you telling me this morning about flipping property in one Woodbrook Place?
No, you're right. That's a bigger crime.
And the man who committed the damn crime dead and gone. So we are all responsible.
And they vexed with me for saying I hope he do rest in peace.
Huh? We are all responsible now.
You think Malcolm Jones was the only one involved?
That is not the point. That is where the buck stops. Robert. You didn't put anybody else when you said fire the Prime Minister. You just said fire everybody. But you went to fire the top man. Expecting what? The realization is that in this country, if the people outside there don't get up and start to do what the hell they're supposed to do, we will not get out of the problem.
The criminal enterprise that was the gas to liquids plant with Petrotrin and Malcolm Jones spearheaded, he is not the only member of that conspiracy.
I don't care about the rest.
No, you're asking a point. Bring it to justice. You know why? Because if you bring it to court... and
it's not going to come to justice.
Wait a second. If you could prove fraud, you could go back to the people we buy that $25 million scrap heap from and get back with money. Because you see in the United States of America and Canada and Japan, those countries, that is why ish partners in crime make jail in Miami.
At the end of it,
They make up Ishbet for him, you know.
Let me tell you something.
Robert, no, you can't say that.
You are speaking in a utopian kind of way, and that is the difference between you and
we've watched an entire.
You are not a realist,
Robert. How you can say I'm not a realist?
No, you're not.
The public watched the entire top sector of Trinidad and Tobago conspire to free Ishan Steve from being responsible for their actions under Piaco, under Pandey.
But they're still in court. The matter still goes on.
Which matter?
All of the matters with them.
The important matters done.
None of them are done.
They've given them. What was the matter where they appeared before this judge and they were supposed to be extradited? What that? Because we was never supposed to handle this matter. The DPP said he spent over $100 million 5 years ago. I don't know where it reached today.
Let me tell you something.
That is the next source of embarrassment.
At the end of it,
you spending $100 million chasing $1 billion. That is the definition of good money after bad.
That is just the normal thing. There's talk about a dog chasing his tail. I don't know if you just pay attention. It's the same tail, you know, being chased by the same person. So all of these innuendo things we're talking about isn't going to solve the problem.
Yeah, but you see, right now we don't know the CLICOs and the GTLs that's happening in this government. And we don't know what Keith Rowley's friends, family, and financiers are stealing as we speak. There's nobody asking.
Will you ever know?
But they should be able to. There's nobody asking Rohan Senanan provide the documents of the purchase of Kedona and the 9 properties that you and your consortium have. Who are the other members of the consortium? How much did you all pay for these properties?
Yeah, but that
how much
information,
is the state? How much is the state?
Philip, that information is public domain information. You go down to the damn land registry, all deeds have to be filed.
Who is the person?
And the same situation
who is the
where they were
person
complaining.
in this country that is responsible for raising flags and examining? Somebody asked me
It
that
is
question.
possibly you and me.
No, okay, but somebody asked me.
Nobody else is doing it.
After Raymond speaking about and running down Clico,
I
think
with the highest admiration for Afro Raymond, how much years after procurement legislation?
Exactly.
And my situation was very simple.
And I'm thinking, does Afro Raymond realize how much of his life he is wasting chasing something he cannot catch? He's chasing. He's like a cat chasing a red dog.
In a similar sense, it's the same thing I asked you, you know. All of this issues that you're trying to pick up to find out about whatever family and members and this.
The difference is this. Somebody made a deal with Clico and called it a bailout. It was never a bailout. It was a loan. Somebody gave Clico a loan of Trinidad and Tobago dollars, almost $25 billion. Somebody structured that loan to not require interest. If 8.5 years have passed, they owe us, we would have earned $20 billion in interest if they had put that money in an interest-bearing account somewhere in the world. We would have earned $20 billion. That is our next 200,000 houses we could have built.
All of that is important but not relevant.
But the voter need to understand.
The voter does not understand. The voter does not care.
We were on a television station and somebody called in and he said, you know what had me upset? Mr. Alexander, what had me upset the most is when I look back and I realize that the $25 billion that they took to bail out Clico, that money was there for that. And they could have used that money to right-size poor people in this country, and they never did. And that was the point for him.
You know, with all of that you're talking, that same color, you know, he wouldn't make one statement of positiveness with regards to fire in this one or fire in that one.
I want to tell you that the road we're on and the work that we're doing, you and I and others, I think that once the people have a realistic alternative, this election coming, and the Progressive Empowerment Party is standing toe-to-toe with everybody. And I want to say this there. On Saturday at noon, 19 Stanmore Avenue, we have our next public meeting. Robert, in 1 year, we had nearly 40 Saturday meetings with the public and 13 national meetings throughout the country. I went to places, I went to Barak Point, I went to Point 14. I didn't know Mamaral existed. And I went to Mamaral. You know where Mamaral is?
Of course.
You were there?
Yeah. The question is not that, you know, Philip. The question is with everything you're talking here today.
Which other political party now is on the road? Hey, that's important because the people have to understand that the people who want to serve you,
you'll make
judge people by their actions.
Here is the spear to the heart for you now.
Oh my God.
Here is the spear to the heart.
Kevin.
With all the things you're telling me.
Kevin.
With all the things you're telling me.
Kevin, jump in.
You know, MSG has get more publicity and public awareness than you. With all you're telling me.
Because MSG is party in power.
Well, look, let's forget about this.
MSJ's party in power.
How do you change? How do we change this backward society?
How we change it is by the people, by when Market Facts and Opinions put out their survey and they say 21% listening to this station and 9% listening to that. Tell them, give us real numbers. Don't tell us percents. Because I want to know 21% of 7 people. It's not a lot of people.
Well,
last night, a man went up against me, toe to toe. He have a live video and I have a live video. And at the peak, I had 606 and he had 202. And it explained to him, because he running a TV station. And I explained to him the real numbers now, how to track it. And that's what you need to know. Because the public have the ability. Robert, we are getting to a point.
The public
we are
don't
getting
care.
to a point.
The public don't care.
Robert,
the public don't care.
I step out every day and put everything like you on the line for this. And I want to tell you something. The carnival is the last distraction card this government.
Well, you could say that if you want. The next distraction card coming is somebody in the opposition having an affair with a man.
No, it's Maxi.
That's not enough of a distraction.
No, big distraction coming next now.
It's not lasting. Watch it. We're not 9 days anymore. We're down to 9 hours.
We're not 9 days.
We're down to 9 hours. Watch it.
We're not 9 days.
Watch it.
We are 9 continuous days.
Robert,
we're not just 9 days.
Watch what's going on, eh? The public not taking distraction and chain up just so. And I'm saying to you that it is time now that we mobilize the people. The people need to be mobilized. When that young businessman, Franklin Chan, Wong Supermarket, was murdered, I mean, Trinidad was supposed to stop. Because what he represents...
Okay.
I just saying this.
No, but hold on. Take a second. Why Trinidad didn't stop? Because they care?
I think they care.
They care, yes. I agree with you.
I think they care.
Jesus is coming this afternoon.
I think they care, but
he will be at 19 Stanmore Avenue. He'll stand up outside and he will open his hands.
There will come a time.
Yeah, he will open his hands.
You're making a joke, but telling you, there will come a time, something will happen, and I know in this country,
to call Rihanna and
where everybody will just say, you know what, that's it. And I think we're heading there, you know.
No, because listen, Philip, we are far from there. We are far from there. We are so far from there that not even you could smell the perfume. You're not close enough to even get a sniff.
I think
it has so much foul smell coming out of all the people who stand up outside here.
I think you'd be surprised. The problem is,
I'm not surprised, you know. You are worried about, you know.
You don't worry about me. I
have to worry about you.
I am a realist.
And that is what worries me.
While the optimists and the pessimists fighting over how much water was in the glass, I drink the water as a realist.
Well, from that point of view, it shows you're selfish.
It's called a realist.
Kevin, we taking a break?
Yeah, we're taking a break.
All right.
People, it is now 11:43. That time check comes to you courtesy of Party Foods.
Well, I hope you're right. I hope you're right.
I am not easily
No,
misled.
It's not about easy misleading or anything like that. It's about factual. I mean, the reality is that the Trinbagonian society's attitude is one of give me, and I'll see if I consider.
Morning. Sorry for the souvenir, Samar. I jumped sign and funny.
Take it on.
We taking it down?
Yeah.
Okay.
I jump gone?
No. You understand what I'm saying?
Nitrogen plant closed down.
Yeah, 350 people.
So how do you take away all these jobs and then still bribe people? How is that happening? How could you?
Because there's no bribe. There's no bribe. There's no bribe. That is something they have to be very careful.
You know, they can't even pay they can't pay you. You teachers, professors, they get money.
Okay, but it's not that the country don't have money.
And that's the point, Robert. The world economy is still growing.
I am hearing that from
Wall
you.
Street Journal, but really Wall Street Journal.
Yes,
it grew in 2017.
Philip,
it growing this year.
Philip,
why is our economy?
The world economy.
Why do they want our gas?
No, they're buying our gas.
Why do they want our nitrogen, our methanol? What's going on?
But we were the number one for a number of years. They always wanted it.
Why not buy our pitch?
It's a universal because pitch is not the aspect. I read the other day in your function where the pitch position, they're looking to sell 49% of it. Who is questioning those things? Where is the opposition
How
role
could
in
you
that?
allow somebody
Where are
to
the
sell
independent senators
the
in
pitch
that?
lake? That is madness. But Robert, we the people of Trinidad and Tobago could use the courts and file an injunction. Dumas proved that. He may reach the Privy Council and it comes down to money. So the things that we had to focus on, and all of you all who paying attention and listening, we need a war chest of money. We need a fight to defend this country.
Again,
You cannot let them sell the pitch lake.
That's another issue.
And you know what we need? I'm looking for attorneys who are willing
Pro bono
to stand up for this country. When we say pro bono, we will raise the money to pay for all the bills, but your time and advice you have to donate to the country. We are looking for attorneys who are willing to assist us in standing up for this country. If you are interested at all, please, attorneys, private message me. It is just about beginning the actions, whatever the actions are, and things like the sale of the pitch lake. That is madness.
You made a point the other day about the lawyers that was brought in, including, you think you call Larry Lala as being one of the lawyers.
That was when Ian Griffith was speaking.
Correct. Well, Ian Griffith, okay? He made the point about the school up there.
Yes.
So, where do we go? I mean, I met the young lady with the school. She came here on a few occasions and we spoke. Marsha Wright. I mean, what happened? Where is the insensitivity, as you would say, to the man, Parliament member, who's the area MP? How come he didn't take interest in the educational side?
Actually, the two parties ganged up against that school.
No problem.
The two parties ganged up against that school. The first time we've seen government and opposition members come together,
as the boy said, didn't do anything.
To fight one thing. To fight one thing. And they wanted to pretend it was a planning issue, but the place that was there before was selling alcohol and food.
Correct. Anyway, Philip, your approach may be worthwhile, boy, but here what? I am worried that you will end up in a position of seeing the dysfunctional society we live in. I mean, I don't dispute that you have to make every effort to try, but the people of this country don't care about this country.
You see, the point is, so many people from this country go forward internationally and make such big lives of themselves that they see and they know how talented we as a people are.
Yeah, but
and
that is not helping us.
No, but if we got first world education and healthcare and social management in this country, if we had a proper running nation, Trinidad would be the best country to live in the world. Yeah, we would top the charts. Because Denmark, Sweden, Switzerland, Finland, Japan, New Zealand, Australia, those countries don't have what we have. We have a natural loving people. We have our country is the most beautiful country in the world. I have never seen a country as beautiful as Trinidad and Tobago.
Yeah, but you could say all you want to say about the beauty of the country. The people who live in this country cares nothing about the beauty.
I think that's because we've taken away the ability for them to have a stake in it. And if you gave the people a stake in their country.
We have plenty of people.
We get back inside a Sense and Sensibility. It is now 11:49. And you want something easy to eat when you're on the road for Canada. Then you gotta try the Royal Castle Golden Chicken Nuggets. 10 pieces of nuggets, one side, and a 16-ounce soft drink with your choice of honey mustard or barbecue sauce. And of course, we have not forgotten the kids. The kids can get the kids nugget combo. 4-piece nuggets, one side, and a 16-ounce soft drink with honey mustard or barbecue. Yes, indeed. And I should also remind you about the Kiss Kitty project. If you want to get involved in this, kisskitty2020@gmail.com is the email you gotta send your interest to and letting us know what's your skill, what's your talent, so you can get involved in it, of course. And if you like karaoke and you're in the Rima area, check out Club 129. It's the place to be for karaoke on a Thursday.
Did you say do you want something easy to eat? As opposed to what everything else hard to eat.
Right now, I'm getting for a roti, but that's very hard right now. So I gotta get this.
Hey boy, my birthday was last week Wednesday. In the whole stress of the rally and everything, the first anniversary, I didn't get to celebrate my birthday. And one of the things I celebrate my birthday with is a nice bus-up shot from a roti shop up in Santa Cruz. Oh my God. Michelle Sohan of Bakery Treats. She is actually the best cake. Yeah, she just won. She's the best cake decorator in the world, you know. She just won an international. It's not the only international show, but she just won the show in France, and she just beat everybody. A couple of years ago, when it was my birthday, she sent a roti cake for me.
That's just confusing.
Kevin, watch me.
It looked like Robert, she like the guy
Robert,
in New York.
you know the burn marks she's got on the tower?
Yeah.
complete and 2 bites out of the roti. You seeing chana, potato and bhaji, all of that.
No, she has skills, boy.
She brilliant, boy. Michelle
Maybe,
Sohana
let me tell you what to do so that we can start to solve the problem. Get her to make the Spirit or the Express broken down and send it for Keith Rowley as a birthday gift.
If I'm in a shame.
No, you'll eat it.
Yeah. I'm happy that I keep.
Send a zombie maxi coffee cake for us.
I'm happy that I could still keep what's in my head from coming out of my mouth. No, but
the question that we have
you raised
to,
the ship, Robert. Look at what is going on with this broken down old ship nearby. Look at
well, you know, I sent you some information because when I went through, you know what is, you have made the point on many occasions. You know what is frustrating to me? I sent all of that information. It is empirical. It's not guess. I had all the proper links and everything attached. I sent everything to all of the media. All. I mean, I even went last night and spent time making sure I built a proper media email list.
Why?
So that I will be sure. And what I realize now is in the Gmail system, every time I send emails to everybody, whatever the email, it remembers.
Yeah.
All right? Now, I didn't pay attention to that before because I was just cutting and pasting. They send a mail and they come out, I just take the block, I take off everything, I leave the names, and I forward my information onto it. I now created my own email list. And I took out, believe it or not, imagine the ministry has a communications person that sends this out, both national security and finance. And there are about 7 emails that bounce back every time.
From them?
And they don't remove it off the list.
You understand? But I don't know why you would still believe. I don't know why that you would still believe that we have anything like a real media in this country.
I'm not studying the media right now.
No, but you're still sending it to them.
No, we have no choice. Because
you have a better chance of getting the word out.
Social media.
Sending it by the vagrant outside our office in Stanmore. He will tell more people. If the media not for you, Robert, they're against you.
Hey.
You have to take. You have to take. You know what you have to take? They want to, Robert, last week, Saturday, a national political party celebrated its first anniversary. A party that had 53 meetings. It is entrenched. We're on the ground in 39 communities. Not one blip of coverage anywhere.
But they had the newspaper people there.
They were there. But it is unethical that we could have a media that is blocking real national information from the public.
So why you and I don't sit down and call the blue shirt guy and find out what he just do? He might teach us something. You know?
That's not what they do. He's run down the media and he's caught the media and there's do and say. Robert, so the same section of the Constitution, the same section of the Constitution that guarantees freedom of the press, guarantees you freedom of political association, and the media is obscene in their lack of ethics and their lack of integrity, because even if I do not like somebody, I am going to make sure that whatever is in the public space, the public gets to know, because that is the purpose of media. What Benjamin Franklin, one of the framers in the United States, Benjamin Franklin, what he used to do was print flyers and give it out. You ever hear ye, read all about it? Yeah. That became media. Yeah. That wasn't media, you know. That was hawkers, people who
get the job.
You would print flyers and send them on a corner. Hand it out, read all about it. Yeah. And we had to get back to there. We have to thank God for social media. God bless social media. If it wasn't for social media, this country a dictatorship.
You know, last night in I was going purveying. Somebody wanted to write an article on my late father. So they call and they ask him, what's his date of birth, what's his date of death, and can you send a picture? So I didn't have anything on me at the time. So I went up on the internet and I pulled up Bola and Amar, and flip, up comes a lot of things. So I knew his birth date and I knew when he died. The pictures, I didn't have it on me, but I found pictures. And I found an article that was done months after he died, crediting and complimenting him as an entrepreneur for what he was able to achieve. Course, yeah. And I forwarded that out to the people. And I mean, they came back in awe. saying, you know, they were very surprised. The thing is that it was done, I think, by Jeremy Taylor, a TV guy in the olden days. But I was shocked to find it. I forwarded out to all of the people that I think need to see it.
No, but we get into a point where the public, I mean, the media will still have shock value for a while. The media is the equivalent of a woman standing on the corner taking off all her clothes. They have this joke.
They do it, you know. They do it in the United States, you know.
They have this
to
joke.
catch you for speeding. And in the European countries, they have these nude ladies that now come up and say, speed limit. And the guy pays attention.
Again, Kevin, I'm happy that what went on in my head and come in my mouth. No, they had this woman who went to Las Vegas. And she said she has $1,000. And she wants to place all $1,000 on one number.
Yeah.
And she asked the guy who's spinning the roulette wheel and the guy who pulling the chips with the thing if it's okay with them if she put all on one number. And they say, well, we generally suggest to people that they spread it out because you win 36 to 1, so you got a better chance. She said, no, I want to put all on one number. And she picked the number 7. And the fella said, okay, ready? Because it's her loan. And they're going to spend the wheel. She said, one more thing. For good luck, I like to do this in the nude, if you don't mind. So she picked up all her clothes. And they spin the wheel. And she said, yeah, I win. And they pay her. And she gone. Put it back on her clothes and gone. So I say, you check the number? He said, no, I thought you did. and that's
a good note for us to kind of ask the question as we wind up today. It is an imperative and a fact that the population of the country, based on survey information that has emanated recently, have indicated beyond any reasonable doubt that the political entrenched parties in the country are not there favored for the future. But it also is accepted that people are not easily swayed to change from the moorings of where they are comfortable. So how do we, as a society, make the necessary changes to permit, to allow, or to create the space for others to participate in the process? Political parties are a solution. Many have come and many have gone. You and I had spoken previously about the independent route to balancing the scales. I still believe, as I said Saturday, that an independent route for this next election would be by far a more formidable.
Yeah, but you see, the point still has to be made that if you vote into office 41 independents.
No,
just saying this.
Forget 41.
No, I'm saying no. Let's go. Let's
no,
take
you can't go that way because that is not practical. Trinidad and Tobago.
I just want to make one point
on
to
the
you.
PNM and on the UNC side has 15 each.
It's the same thing though, because our constitution requires that a government be formed out of that.
Correct.
So even if you wait till after the election to organize them, it'll still be the same thing in substance. Organizing a political party to fight an election is our current system and what it should be, because the seats in the parliament are 41 independent seats, and I take that point. But the people know a political party and they want to see who is the team, because if you have 41 independents in the house, you don't know who you're going to end up with in government. At least with a party, you have an idea up front who you're voting into government.
Yeah. But
you understand what I'm saying?
I hear you.
I'm not knocking what you are saying. And I'm just saying this one thing. Barack Obama did an interview on Netflix with this guy from the Tonight Show. Not oh my gosh, I can't remember his name.
Leno?
Not Leno, the other one.
Larry King?
No, he used to be on opposite Leno at night. Damn it, right now we have a big full beard. Anyway, he did an interview with him. And he was explaining that they had no money and they had no access to big finances and they had no idea to access the big media. And what the young people on social media and that whole environment and that whole idea of change, what it did to America has changed a lot.
So hold on, because we have to wind up. How much is the total votes he ended up with?
Barack Obama.
Yeah.
Barack Obama was he won by a landslide.
No, how much was the number?
I don't have that with me.
Was over 85 million.
I could get the number.
Was over 85 million.
Because the UNC will go out there and
Was
say, Philip didn't know.
Was over 85
Philip
million.
must know everything.
Philip, focus. Was over 85 million.
Okay.
The numbers in that society make sense that way. In Trinidad and Tobago, we are just 1.2.
You may say that, but not tell us. I mean, it comes down to a vote, a single vote, one man, one
Doesn't
vote.
work.
If we mobilize one man, one vote, we will get people to work. Thank you, Kevin. Thank you, Robert. Thank you, 104.7.
Until
Thank
Monday.
you, all of you paid attention here. See you Saturday, 19th Stanmore Avenue at noon. Come and sign up. We're launching the new Progressive Empowerment Party card, and there's a thing, the whole campaign coming out. Membership has its advantages. See you on Saturday.
Bye.